Judges. Gideon, mighty warrior with a fearful heart. Judges 6-8. Gideon did not look like a warrior. He did not sound like a deliverer. And when God first spoke his name, Gideon was hiding. Not on a battlefield, but in a wine press, threshing wheat in secret, afraid the enemy might see the dust rise. And yet, the angel of the Lord stood before him and said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior. Not you will become, not one day you might be, but you are." God spoke to Gideon according to calling, not condition. Gideon looked around and saw fear. God looked down and saw purpose. Gideon's first response wasn't courage, it was confusion. "If the Lord is with us," he said, "why has all this happened to us?" That is not rebellion. That is a wounded faith asking honest questions. And God did not rebuke him for asking. Instead, God answered by calling him forward. Go in the strength you have, not strength you wish you had, not confidence you'll grow into later, the strength you have. But Gideon was afraid, and God knew it. So God was patient. He gave signs, fire from the rock, a word that stayed, a presence that lingered. And even then, Gideon asked again, the fleece on the ground, dew on the wool, but not the earth. Then dew on the earth, but not the wool. This is where many misunderstand the story. Gideon was not testing God out of arrogance. He was reaching for courage with trembling hands. And God, astonishingly, did not turn away. But here is the truth we must not miss. God did not build Gideon's faith through reassurance. God built Gideon's faith through obedience. When the army gathered, Gideon finally felt ready. 32,000 men stood with him, and God said, "That is too many. Too many soldiers, too much human strength, too much room for pride." So God reduced the army. First, fear was dismissed. Then confidence was filtered, until only 300 men remained. 300. Not because they were elite, but because God would receive the glory. God was not punishing Gideon. He was protecting him from believing the victory belonged to himself. And in the night, God did something tender. Before the battle, God allowed Gideon to overhear a dream in the enemy camp, a loaf of bread rolling downhill, toppling tents. Even the enemy knew the battle was already decided, and Gideon worshipped, not after the victory, before it, because faith had finally taken root. The battle was won without swords swinging, torches, jars breaking, trumpets sounding. Confusion fell on the enemy. Because when God fights, he does not need numbers. He needs obedience. And Israel was delivered. But the story does not end in triumph. And this is where Scripture speaks to us most honestly. After victory, the people wanted to make Gideon king. He refused the title, but not the temptation. He asked for gold. He made an ephod. And slowly, subtly, compromise entered. What began as gratitude became a snare. What was meant to remember God became something that distracted from him. And Israel fell again. Here is the warning. Not every fall comes from fear. Some come after success. Gideon trusted God in weakness, but struggled in abundance. And the Bible does not hide that. Because Scripture is not about perfect heroes. It is about a perfect God who works through imperfect people. So what does Gideon teach us today? That God calls us while we are hiding. That fear does not disqualify us. That obedience grows faith more than signs ever will. That God may reduce us, not to harm us, but to reveal himself. And that even great victories must be guarded with humility. Because the same God who delivers us from fear also warns us not to let success replace dependence. If you are afraid today, God sees you. If you feel small, God can still use you. If you feel reduced, God may be preparing you. And if you have already seen victory, guard your heart. For the Lord is with you, mighty warrior.